This is Akashvani. In the program Spotlight, now we bring you a discussion on restoration of peace and normalcy in Manipur. The participants are Deepak Diwan, political analyst, and Omvesh Upadhyay, Akashvani correspondent.
The situation in Manipur, which witnessed violence and ethnic clashes, had reached alarming proportions. But now with the deployment of army and central police forces, the situation has been brought under some control, although efforts to gain absolute peace and normalcy in Manipur is on. And today to discuss on this in detail, we are joined by political analyst Mr. Deepak Diwan. Welcome to the program, Mr. Diwan.
Thank you.
Before we begin the discussion, let's listen what the security advisor to Manipur government, Mr. Kuldeep Singh, has to say on the situation of Manipur after the recent violence incidents that we have seen in past few days.
अभी टेंशन ज्यादातर शहरों में और ज्यादातर वैली में रिलीज है, काफी कम हो गया है। बहुत ही अब सस्पिशन और र्यूमर भी काफी कम हो गई हैं। लोगों की कंप्लेंट्स भी जो आ रही हैं वो भी कम हो गई हैं। कुछ चांदपुर के फ्रिंज एरिया, कुछ कांगपोकपी के कुछ एरिया और मोरे एरिया में अभी भी लोगों में टेंशन कंपैरेटिवली यहाँ की तुलना में ज्यादा है। करीब 134 आर्म्स रिकवर हो गए हैं और उनकी रिकवरी की वजह से ही थोड़ा सा माहौल भी अच्छा हो रहा है।
So, Mr. Diwan, to begin the discussion, I would like to ask you, could you please share some insights on the situation of Manipur right now and how the government is ensuring that the rule of law is upheld and those responsible for the violence are held accountable?
Well, Omvesh, first of all, I must tell you, we got some details about the incident and what happened from the Chief Minister himself. According to Chief Minister N. Biren Singh, the 60 people have died and more than 200 people have been injured. And 35,000 people have been displaced. And in the violence, we saw 1,700 houses being burned. And mob looted 1,041 weapons and 7,460 ammunitions were looted from the security forces, armed Manipur police. So the situation became so grave that on 4th itself, the next day of the starting of violence started on 3rd of May. On 4th, the governor appointed Mr. Ashutosh Sinha, an IPS officer, made him overall in charge, operational commander to control and bring situation normally. And he would report only to Mr. Kuldeep Singh, who is the former NIA chief. So, local police officers, because they were ethnically, they were local, so the governor decided to have a neutral person who would respond to the calls given by the center. That's how situation was seen as volatile. That's why this action was taken. And on 4th itself, shoot at sight orders were ordered because the people were not following the curfew laws. So, in order to stop the violence and killing of the people, the shoot at sight orders were ordered. And now we have about 50 companies of CRPF and 106 columns of Army and Assam Rifles which are deployed in all the sensitive areas round the clock, and they are patrolling, they are doing flag march. And yesterday the curfew was relaxed for 3 hours, markets were open, people bought their daily needs, and after 3 hours the curfew was reimposed. So I think the situation is limping back to normalcy.
So, Mr. Diwan, to direct the conversation towards how the government is ensuring to bring back normalcy, advisor to the Home Ministry on Northeast Affairs, Mr. A.K. Mishra, was last week in Imphal and had rounds of talk with Kuki community leaders. So, Mr. Diwan, how has the government engaged with the particular ethnic groups and communities in Manipur to address the current issue? What's your take? How do you see that?
Well, as you know, as you mentioned, Mr. A.K. Mishra was in Imphal on 3rd, the day the violence broke out. 3rd, they had one round of talks with the Kuki underground leaders with whom we have tripartite dialogue going on. Peace talks are on. See, they had first round of talks, and after that they were supposed to meet next day, that is on 4th. But unfortunately, because of the violence, that meeting could not take place. But Mr. Mishra, since he was in Imphal at the ground zero, so he coordinated a lot of, coordination work he did with the Ministry of Home Affairs and the ground level with the operation commanders, those who are controlling the situation in Manipur. So he came back to Delhi, and I think after he met the Home Minister, reportedly I've been told that he was asked to go back again. And he landed in Imphal, and yesterday he had meeting with one of the umbrella organization of the Kukis, KNO, and also with the Kuki tribal community leaders. And today he is having another round of talks with the another umbrella organization, UPF, in Kampopi area, and he is also meeting the community leaders of Kuki community, and he is trying to pursue them to, remain calm so that things can become normal. What I have been told is that Kukis have told them they want, first of all, evacuation of all the Kukis from the hold-up areas in Imphal. Then they want, the Manipuri police commandos, those who are posted in the hill areas, in Kuki areas, they want them to be withdrawn because according to Kuki leaders, in the ethnic situation, they do not expect during the ethnic clashes, but a particular community police will protect tribals. So they were seeking the removal of these commandos from the tribal areas. And the third thing they are asking is the imposition of the president rule in Manipur.
So, to understand more about the conflict also, Mr. Diwan, can you please share with our listeners what has been the conflict in general, after which the violence and incidents like those rose to an alarming proportion between the Meiteis community and Kuki community?
As you know, the Manipur High Court had directed Manipur government to take up the matter of ST status to be granted to the Meiteis who live in Imphal with the Tribal Affairs Ministry. After the court passed that order, and there was some backlash in the Kuki community, those who have been seeking 6th schedule for a long time in their area. Manipur is the only state which does not give 6th schedule to tribals in the state. So there has been always this kind of demand, and this is what has been figured out in the dialogue between the Kukis and the central and the state government also in their tripartite talk. But this March 27th High Court order recommending the Manipur government to take up with the center, it didn't go well with the tribal. So on May 3rd, Kukis, they had organized a solidarity march in the Churachandpur district, which went off almost peacefully. Only towards the end, there were some clashes started in the areas where Meiteis or Kukis were living. After that, it was free for all. It spread everywhere. And Imphal, there's no internet. It has been banned. There's very little information coming from there, only through phone. And officially, I think today, as I mentioned, the Manipur CM has made an appeal and he has admitted these figures which I read out earlier to you. So this is the situation now.
So then, if I'm not wrong, Mr. Diwan, Supreme Court also released an observation on Manipur violence. What is that?
Yeah, I must tell you. See, after High Court Manipur gave the recommendation in its order, the chairman of the Hill Area Committee Manipur, he filed a petition in the Supreme Court challenging the Manipur High Court decision. It came up for hearing yesterday in a bench in the Supreme Court. And Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud himself, he questioned, I'll say it in quotes, he said, this power the High Court never had. This is the presidential power. How could High Court direct the state government that it shall forward the recommendation of the Government of India? And he put a question mark on this. What he said was, this recommendation has to come from Government of India. That is the thing. Now, see, at this moment, one is not going into nitty-gritty of the High Court or Supreme Court observations. But the thing is, right now, the priority and the need of the hour is to bring normalcy. Stop killings in Manipur. Stop killings in entire Manipur. Look at the exodus from people, students from all over India, those who go and study there, whether it's medical or agriculture college. They had to be evacuated. The Imphal airport had yesterday 108 flights landing and taking off because all those students, outsiders, they were being evacuated from there. All the state governments, they made sure that their native citizens were brought back in a safer area, away from Manipur. I don't know how soon this normalcy can be restored, but the thing is, first of all, this violence has to stop.
And you very rightly said that the need of hour is to stop the violence and gain normalcy in the region. And speaking to press on the Manipur violence, Union Minister of Law and Justice, Mr. Kiren Rijiju said,
मणिपुर में अनफॉर्चुनेटली जो वहाँ वायलेंस हुए हैं उसके लिए भारत सरकार और पर्टिकुलरली गृह मंत्रालय के तरफ से जो भी कदम उठाना है वो तो उठाया जा रहा है। बहुत अनफॉर्चुनेट घटना है जो कम्युनल क्लैश होता है दो समुदाय के बीच में थोड़ा सा अगर मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग है तो भी बातचीत करके सुलझाया जा सकता है। हम लोग नॉर्थ ईस्ट आज इतना विकास के मार्ग में बहुत तेजी से आगे बढ़ रहा है। अब इसको इस तरह का वायलेंस से नुकसान नहीं पहुंचाना चाहिए। जब इस तरह का घटनाएं होते हैं, वायलेंस होते हैं, तो सबसे बड़ा नुकसान हमारे भविष्य को होता है, हमारे युवाओं को होता है, महिलाओं को होता है, हमारा विकास पे ये चोट पहुंचते हैं।
Union Minister of Law and Justice Shri Kiren Rijiju also highlighted the significance of inter-community dialogue to resolve the present crisis. How do you see that, Mr. Diwan?
Well, I think it's not that easy that, today if there's a forces, there's a peace. But the thing is, this peace has to come in within the people. And it will take long time, because once this social fabric which has been damaged so badly, there's total divide. So government has to make efforts to regain the confidence of the people. The same people, those who are today opposing the deployment of Meitei policemen in the area, that kind of situation should come. They should welcome them back to save them or secure them. They should feel secure with the same police force. That would take little time.
Mr. Diwan, speaking on the Manipur violence, Home Minister Amit Shah assured that the Manipur government would consult all stakeholders before taking a decision on the matter of scheduled tribe status for the Meitei community, because all of that conflict is between the Kuki community and the Meitei community. Getting this important statement from the Home Minister itself, what significance does this hold, and does it have the power to calm down the violent situation in Manipur? How do you see that?
Yes, exactly. That's what the tribals have been complaining about. See, the Hill Area Committee said that we were never discussed, we are never taken into confidence. See, the problem is the House of 60 assembly seats, 40 are Meiteis and 20 are only tribal. So politically they don't have much voice in the House also. So I think a lot of efforts are required to bring back the situation to normal and also restore the confidence of the people in the government.
Absolutely. Just to know more on the efforts of government to bring back the situation to normal and sustain peace in the region, are there any announcements yet about the victims and what will be the compensations from the government side?
Well, I think I read somewhere the Manipur CM has announced 5 lakhs ex gratia for those who died, and I think 25,000 or something for those who are mildly injured. I don't have much details about it.
So Mr. Diwan, in the very concluding stage, I want to know from you that whenever we talk about the Northeast or the Seven Sisters, it is undoubtedly true that in the recent years, the Northeast and states like Manipur have seen very progressive approach from the central government regarding the development that they have been witnessing. But these violence and such incidents put these regions in a negative light. So how do you see things will get affected with this, and how soon we can overcome with these situations?
See, it all depends on the efforts of the government. Government of Manipur has to create that conducive atmosphere, peaceful atmosphere, and efforts must be done from the government side. Political will is needed for that.
Absolutely. And with your insightful information, we conclude the program. Thank you so much for joining us on Akashvani.
Thank you.
You were listening to a discussion on restoration of peace and normalcy in Manipur. The participants were Deepak Diwan, political analyst, and Omvesh Upadhyay, Akashvani correspondent. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of Akashvani. You can listen to it on our mobile app, News on AIR. This program is also available on our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official. You may share your feedback about this program through email at airnsttalks@gmail.com or WhatsApp on 9289094044.